We argue in fun because we're very good friends, and there's a love relationship there.
Allegedly. Wow, we would have never believed this. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too.
Everyone, welcome to Relevant Rants. Thank you so much for watching. I'm here with Nathaniel. I'm loving to have Nathaniel here today. Here with Tom. We're on location doing this remotely, so as you can see, everything's a little bit different. But yeah, so again, thanks for watching. We're going to start with talking about Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, Bakersfield hometown boy.
Bakersfield boy, Fresno State boy.
Yeah, he's very influential in a couple of my friends'
Still
life.
involved,
My
yep.
son-in-law, Danny, and Brandon Jones, who is close to us. And Brandon will be coming in next week from Vegas and talking on our lunch break, Muscles Matters.
Excited to have him.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Danny's going to be there with us. And
we're going to get all this
It'll
going on.
be a good time. Multiple remotes at the same time.
So keep listening.
But Derek's got some cool stuff going on. He's speaking
He's
a little bit.
speaking at a church in Las Vegas. And I do think there's a part of what he's doing that's very honorable.
Yeah.
He's letting the Raiders off the hook. He's basically taking the first punch and saying, "Hey, I'm moving on." And I think he's smart with doing that.
Well, you know what? I don't think that the Raiders need him to trash talk them. They do enough of their own damage.
I'll say it again.
I know you're a big Raider fan.
I'm a Packer fan, and I would love to see Rodgers go. And I will say that again. I would love to see Rodgers go in our lousy performance last week.
We can add some echo onto that one.
And our last week's performance against the Lions and kicking us out of the playoffs with 3 interceptions. I think kind of sealed that deal for me, Aaron. You could probably give a heck what I think, but that's okay because I'd like to see Derek Carr in green and gold. I'd love to.
That'd be cool.
I loved him. He's a believer. He's going to be speaking at a church. It's called Church LV in Green Valley, located at 3760 East Sunset Road. He's going to speak at 5 p.m. on Saturday and 9:30 and 11:30 on Sunday. He did this once up here in Sacramento area for our friend Darren Laws.
Oh, really?
And when he did that,
cool.
They had to do
I thought Darren was in San Francisco.
Well, we're in that area. We're in the Bay Area.
Ish. Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's a few hours away, but...
Producer Alex Howe, get a map for Mike Harvey. We are in the Bay Area.
It's still a few hours.
But last time Derek did this, I think he had to preach 15 services.
Wow. Back to back?
Well, they kept adding them because they only could let so many people in. And so then they close it off, and then he just came back.
Hey, he's an NFL football player. He's got stamina, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine speaking that many times to a crowd, Tom? I know you've done some speaking, but...
Not that many times. And so, I'm proud of Derek. He's wrote a farewell to the Las Vegas fans that I gave you my all. I believe he did.
And a good riddance to the Raiders.
Yeah. I like what he said. He goes, when he first made the comment that he wanted to stay with the Raiders and be the only team, he never foresaw this. But how many times do we all foresee the future? Yeah. Here's a strong believing guy.
That's interesting you bring that up, right?
Yeah.
Because we think we know the plans.
Yes.
God has other plans.
He's got other plans.
Oh, you think you know what you're going to do? That's cute.
And I love Derek coming out saying, "I'm sorry if I failed you and you believe that, but I gave you my all. And wherever I go, I'm going to give you my all again." I think that takes a minute.
I don't think you can say that Derek failed anybody. I think you could say that his coaching staff, his ownership, his defense failed him.
How many coaches have they had in the last 5 years?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, and how many owners? It's like it's a confused organization.
Revolving door.
We're
gonna try a quarterback this time. Next time we'll probably try a different wide receiver. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Maybe you just get your crap together.
We're gonna blame the quarterback that has all the stats for the quarterback for the Raiders organization. All of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you say he's no good, then he got to say the best we had is no good.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won a Super Bowl for me. He said that. So
I don't put that on him. I put that on the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm just like, I appreciate a man that will say, "Hey, I gave you my all.
Yeah.
You may not think so, and I'm sorry if you don't think so, but I'm ready to go on. I made a mistake when I said I'm going to end my career with the Raiders. I'm not. I couldn't foresee this. So I'm excited about my future."
And I want to say, Dad, Steve Southers, our host with Muscle Matters. If you're watching this, sorry, we're not hating on the Raiders, but we kind of are.
Well, we're just being, but aren't we just being honest?
We are. I mean, hey, I don't think either of those guys can dispute what we're saying. Darren Tripp, big Raiders fan, but he is in agreement with us.
It's a relevant rant, and we just ranted.
Yeah. So DeMar Hamlin's doing well. He's back home.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a miracle that was! Yeah, man, did that send our country to prayer.
It did, and that was super cool.
Well, it's so funny because let's compare this. So Tim Tebow got in trouble for taking a knee. Yeah. And they actually made a rule called, I think, well, actually before him, there was a guy named Reggie White.
We took a knee for the wrong reasons.
Who was the minister of defense. And they made a Reggie White rule that when he started talking about Jesus, they would take the mic away. So then Tebow came around. He took heat for it. But all of a sudden, football gathered around prayer for
DeMar Hamlin.
Yes, and I think that was sensational. We've seen
even on ESPN, NFL.
We want to thank all the first responders, the teammates, and the guys on the sideline. They did their job. Isn't it cool?
They literally saved that guy's life.
Isn't that cool when it happens? Then they get to the hospital and they get hospital. Honestly, good job for humankind, for mankind. Good job for mankind.
There was a post the other day that said the lowest paid guys on the field had the most important job, and they did.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff because it shows you that people do believe in prayer, whether they say it or not. My wife's always said there's always going to be prayer in school as long as there's tests. So you can't take God out of the equation, and people choose to put him in when they need him, and the nation needed to see something happen. And will some people, deny the prayer worked? Go ahead and deny that, but I think there's probably a little more of us that believe prayer did work. Yeah. And I think medical science might be on our side with that. So.
Well, speaking of medical science, I think that you look at that, and we had Fauci come out like just a few days ago saying, well, it's, we don't know what's going on with all these athletes. We have multiple of them die or fall over, or have problems on the field, whatever. It's not COVID, or it's not the vaccine. We know that. We have no idea what it is, but definitively, without any evidence, we know that it's not that.
Well, I can say this because my doctors at Cedars are questioning my heart issue because of maybe having COVID in early 2019 before it became a big deal. And when I said, will that help me with my problem? They go, no, you have your problem. So, with the vaccine, I think what came out this week, the FDA, or at least some people felt the FDA withheld information on them about the new vaccine because there's evidence that it does no better than the first vaccine. Does it have any more variants? I mean, we're going to put up the link in our relevant rants, but I'm just saying it's there. And I think, we got Doug Brignoli coming up on our lunch break special this week. Doug Brignoli died 3 days after we interviewed him on our show. We're going to bring it up, and the cause for his death is COVID infection. As the LA medical examiner put it, and Mike, you and I have talked about that, because we wanted to be fair to Doug's family and just say, we don't know why he died. We're going to run the episode because we talked to his producer. Yeah. And it's Doug's last spoken words on our show. So if you want to watch a lunch break this week, hey, we're giving a plug for it.
It'll be this Thursday, coming Thursday.
Unashamedly, we're plugging the show. But basically, Doug Brignoli, and you can look him up, USA Today fact-checked it, said on his social media, I'm taking the vaccine. If I live, you should just shut up and take it. But if I die, consider that.
Validity to
so you can look at Doug Brignoli's. He's a bodybuilder, pretty much an icon. USA Today fact-checked it and said on the medical examiner's report, it does say COVID infection. Then he had a heart problem, which we talked about on the show. So I'm out there saying, hey, wow. I mean, COVID's done something to our country that I think I'm dealing with. You young guys, I mean, we've all had it, right?
Yeah. I have, yeah.
So we all recovered from it, right?
Yeah.
I've had it since I had my vaccination. I'm the only one here, I think, that's been vaccinated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got COVID again. So I'm just ranting about it. So
And Biden came out this week and he extended another 2 months or something.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, that was really odd.
I don't know why.
I thought that whole thing was over. It's like, oh, hey, it was, but let's just keep it going.
Well, it's going to affect us because we're getting ready to get back out to Cal State Bakersfield.
Yeah, right.
And do some things in conjunction with them. But I told them we got to wait till the COVID restrictions are over. We were excited that February would be over, but now might be first of the year before we get back out helping the University of California, Bakersfield, come back onto their campus and help the student body.
Yeah. Well, we're hopefully going to be able to do some cool stuff there. So,
Yes.
And while Biden's busy doing probably mostly nothing,
well, I think
putting up a show.
Yeah, I think even the president of Mexico said he's forgetful. Hello. But he is old. I'm going to keep coming back. Mike, you know me. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think it kind of went like, hey, Joe, you're forgetful. He's like, wait, who are you?
I'm not sure that's how it happened.
Allegedly.
Yes.
You're welcome, Alex.
But I'm just saying, he's an old guy.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that...
You're an old guy. You forget things.
I do. And you guys all know that. I think Dr. Biden, Jill Biden, should help out her husband a little more.
Well, she's busy helping herself.
The whole family is, I think.
Yeah. So they had the big their version of the Mar-a-Lago happened recently. A lot of
he forgot some paperwork.
Well, well, he forgot about it. Yeah, it's fine. No worries. It's all good.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not as big. It's 300 plus documents versus 10. That's a big amount. Like according so far, it's 10. But that's a big number to compare it to. And also, it's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, I know it's kind of suspicious, the fact that they videotape the whole documents going from, Mar-a-Lago, but like for Biden, they're just like, no, take our word for it. It's just this much.
Well, if you listen to
right. And they're kind of downplaying that.
They are. No,
very much so.
If you listen to The View, which I do not listen to The View, I want to make that a point, but I do.
You might have heard a clip or two.
But I follow clips because I'm not going to be accused of just watching one-side media, even though my daughter is the talent manager at Daily Wire. Daily Wire is the, I don't know what we call them, affiliate or connected.
There's a relationship.
My daughter's creative director for us.
Yeah.
So Daily Wire's connected with us. And so as you go out there, you just feel that there was more light shed on Trump than there is on Biden.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're like going, that's wrong. Let's just say it's wrong, okay?
Yeah. Well, I think there's an agenda, but I think there's an agenda with the Biden thing, and we were discussing this morning, and I don't think that I've necessarily heard or seen, and I'm not saying that nobody said it.
You're allegedly saying you haven't.
I haven't seen or heard anybody say it, but it seems like from some of the stuff that's starting to come out about Biden and with the thing with Mexico, with the thing with his version of Mar-a-Lago, that, it was just nothing, be quiet, sweep it under the rug. I think...
Even though it does involve Ukraine.
Right. The Democrats are starting to kind of like... in a overt kind of way, or covert kind of way, like edge him out because really they probably don't want him to be their president.
Well, it seems like the Bloomberg and the New York Times, they're coming out to probably print a little more of the truth. And I think they used to be...
I don't know if you call anything those guys do truth, but it's just a different version of their truth.
Well, maybe they're presenting the other side of the coin.
Or maybe it's just like...
It's useful to them.
We had an issue last year, and I think even the past 2 years with media presenting so much of one side that people were just kind of like, this is obviously wrong. And now, especially since the vaccine stuff kind of came out, now the people are just like, well, we're not going to listen to you. You said all this stuff. And they're like, well, fine. Well, we need to start posting some things that are not biased, or else no one's going to read us anymore. And now they'll do that. They'll appease the audience for a little bit, and then they'll probably go back to doing whatever they're going to do.
You think it's that? I really think that they are trying to like, hey, let's just kind of put him out there in the wind so we can get rid of him. Like, really, he says he wants to run in 24. I don't think really anybody wants him to run in 24.
Well, they could do a lot worse stuff to him. They're posting pretty nice things about it. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, he's just an old man, please forgive him. They're not saying, well, he's an old man, get him out of here.
Well, but I think that what my point is, Nathaniel, is they're doing it in a kind way, unlike they would do to any Republican.
A gentle way.
Yeah. But they're like, come here, old man, let's lead you by the hand out of the White House, because and so they can accomplish both things simultaneously without completely destroying them like they would to any Republican that was there, and still kind of put him out there a little bit, hang him out to dry a little bit too at the same time.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
I think this is where Mike is ranting.
Yeah.
That's what I get. Well, I think it brings us into one of our next topics, is really what's getting done at the White House. And I think we've got a clip from Kevin McCarthy, our man. Hey, Kevin McCarthy, Bakersfield born and bred, Speaker of the House, number 3 in charge. And I think he even came out and asked the question, what has the Senate done this week? Oh, nothing. But then you look at what he said. So I'm going to tell you guys something I didn't tell you before the show. Right. So I was looking up, I typed in on my Google search, and then I went swiftly to Safari, and I felt that I was being biased, and I typed in, what has Kevin McCarthy done in his first week? So nothing came up on my Google search, nothing came up on my Safari, so I typed in DuckDuckGo. Typed in the same thing, bingo, right at the top. I got the whole list.
Promo for DuckDuckGo.
Yeah. I was like, so if I'm not, I mean, I don't know how many pages I needed to scroll to find it on Google or Safari, and our producer might take that out because we might get shadow banned. But I'm just saying, that's what we had.
Yeah.
And we see him basically...
Dude, he is kicking butt and taking names.
Hey,
he's doing a great job.
Hey, I think he's firing the IRS, 87,000 armed IRS agents that they hired last year. I think he's like saying, we don't need you. We never needed you.
I mean, in a roundabout way, yeah, he's taking the money back that they gave him in the Inflation Creation Act. Or reduction, they tried to call it, but they're creating inflation with it.
Yeah. He's
allegedly.
He's bringing into focus the maybe the Biden cartel.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
Merrick Garland's definitely taking some heat.
Kevin and the Republicans are pushing through some things that are pretty cool, and so he hasn't wasted time.
No, he hasn't. Because it took him about a week to get the job, right?
Well, the only thing, Kevin, that you've wasted time on is coming on my show. So,
Kevin's on blast now.
Yeah, but we're going to get Kevin on Relevant Rants, and we're going to get him on lunch break because he owes me.
Yeah,
but
we're not going to say when.
But he's been through enough. I mean, 15 rounds of votes for the Speaker of the House. What the heck?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
but they got it done. But now, what I'm loving is they're not wasting any time. They're taking action. They're pulling money back from the IRS. Good for you, Kevin. Thank you so much because you're standing up for middle class America, which we so desperately need a fighter in our ring to do that. Because the whole allegedly, you're welcome, Alex. The Democrats, Biden, all of that whole cartel, as Tom put it, which it likely is coming after the middle class. And using the IRS and other government agencies, which are also Kevin's going after, and the Republicans. It's not just Kevin, but Kevin's leading the charge, going after to do something about the weaponization of the FBI, the CIA. Yeah. Again, Merrick Garland is like they're going to be hopefully appointing a special counsel for the Biden files. So yeah, I think Kevin, thank you. Republicans, thank you. You guys are doing a good job.
I think they are. So we're going to end up with a feel-good story?
Yeah.
I like it. So this week in the Today, they talked about a study. And they did a study on what makes people happy. And it was pretty cool. I mean, with the article, we'll give you a link to the article. You can read it. But what they summarized made people happy was relationships. Not just themselves. Relationship with others, and I think that's what the pandemic hurt us so much on. Really is it separated us from our relationships, not our household relationship, but it's like you, Mike. I mean, you've asked me if I argue with other people like I do, and I said no, because you're good.
Let me clarify that for our viewers. We argue in fun because we're very good friends, and there's a love relationship there.
Allegedly.
A brotherly love,
yes,
a fatherly love,
yes,
and pastor, all of those things.
You had to throw the age bias in there. So.
Hey, I mean, you're a little bit older, by
little bit,
like 50%.
Yeah, a little bit. So, but it's just cool because we do believe in relationships.
Yeah,
and I think they're saying that if you have relationships, you have people to talk to.
Well, I think you say that's what during the pandemic. Largely, one of the biggest tools the enemy uses against us is to get us
separation. We've seen that. We've seen that in the Garden of Eden, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Adam joined with Eve, he did join with Eve in eating the apple. But God said, "What did you do?" He says, "It's the woman you gave me."
It's her fault.
Is it that divide and conquer? I mean, we come about it naturally. I mean, you go into a preschool and you don't have to teach kids to be selfish. They're automatically going mine. They're grabbing the toy and saying mine.
And that's so interesting. We had a conversation about that this morning. Our selfish desires a lot of times work against our own best interest.
They do. They do.
Probably, I would say most of the time.
Because what does our book say? considers others more important than yourself.
Right. But
and being selfish is considering you above them all the time, which is natural.
But what I've said before, Tom, about
but
that,
you got to fight the natural.
The Bible, like as it talks, and this isn't a show about the Bible, but we obviously are all Christians here, so we'll talk about it a little bit. It's not just a book of rules to like rain on your parade and not have fun. Like he wants us to have the most enjoyable life we could have, and there's like no, don't do those things because it's gonna like be bad for you.
Well, it's so cool. It's about relationships, and we do believe the relationships between husband and wife is cool. But it's cool to talk to Nathaniel last night because I think he's got a girlfriend that we're all going stamp of approval on.
Thumbs up, yeah.
All the way to his family. But I mean, isn't that a relationship that you're cherishing and you're able to go and you're a happier man because you have her in your life?
Absolutely.
And give her a shout out.
Oh yeah, shout out to my girlfriend Nalani. She watches every once in a while.
But Nathaniel, we're going to help you with this relationship thing. Because that will win you a lot when you see Alani.
Not only her though, friends too. I have some great friends that I've starting to reconnect. What's funny is I went through a period of time where I just kind of didn't talk to anyone for a while. Just secluded myself and just like I'm just like I don't know. It's probably a little while ago.
You talked to me.
Yeah. Never wants to work. No, but it's one of those things where it's just like it is so much different now because I've been around my friends a lot more. I've been actually reaching out and been like, I need to reach out again. So I'm reaching out again and building those relationships back again. I'm like, wow, I'm actually a lot happier than I was before.
But you're proof of it.
Yeah. It's just nice.
And there again, Nathaniel, you're a young man. In developing those relationships, you keep them forever. Mm-hmm. I knew Mike when he was going through puberty. And right, and he was a knucklehead, and so but we're still friends. That he's 41.
That was the only time in my life I was a knucklehead.
I don't believe that. We'll talk to LaDavia. I think that's not allegedly. That one is just he has to confess that one.
Yeah, I do have an amazing wife.
So I love that, Nathaniel, that you're living proof because they're just saying that's the single trait that all these people had in common that were happy. Is that they had multiple relationships, not just one of their significant other, but other ones,
friendships, and
because we need people in our lives. We need people that are going to tell us the truth. We need people that are going to help us go through hard times. You go through hard times just so you can help other people go through hard times. That's in 2 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 3. That we go through stuff so we help others with the help God gave us to get through their stuff. Yeah, so hey, that's the way we're wired.
So if you're out there watching, go work on some relationships. Develop some that you have further, and maybe make some new ones.
Yep. Hey, make a test. If you're not happy or there's some things in your life that are causing you concern, go out there and reconnect with the relationships like Nathaniel Tweed did. Yeah. And then see, hey, we're all lab rats, right? We're all getting up, trying new things. We listen to podcasts. We listen to self-help. We're all mindset or mindful, and so you just get in the culture that feeds you.
So Nathaniel, you want to leave any last words here?
Nope. I'm glad that we are able to all be here together and able to still continue to do this.
It's been a good trip.
It's been a really fun trip, even though the politics are rough, but the friendships we made along the way are great.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing about you can have different opinions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you can still...
Nathaniel can't. He works for me, so...
You can debate.
That doesn't stop me.
I had a great pastor who passed away this week, Jack Hayford. He told me one time, Tom, debate doctrine, but don't divide. Yeah. And God bless Jack Hayford. Yeah. He was a godly man for the country. So,
Tom, closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts are, hey, we're out there just to encourage you. Hopefully we haven't discouraged you. And we do have our opinions. And as you've seen, Mike Harvey is very opinionated about his opinion. My opinions, there again, we don't come at you just from one side. We do look at both sides. I got friends on both sides of the aisle. I got people that are in the pews. I got people out of the pews. I think you've got to have that basis, right?
We do.
You got to have, and I'm not saying that has to affect my walk, but I've got people who don't think like me, and it's better to have them in my life than out of my life. So it's a part on me to help keep that relationship solid.
Yeah, cool.
Go out there and keep those relationships solid, even if you don't agree with each other.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless.